in a world crying out for a top 10 show. John Rocha and Matt Nost are here to bring you the top 10. Take it away, boys. Welcome, everybody, to another brand new episode of Topic
Thunder.
Here from the Top 10 Show, I am John Rocha.
And I am Matt Nost, and we are here for another week of Topic Thunder, which is a show that's created entirely by the patrons. They send in whatever topics and questions they want us to ask, and we answer them.
That's right. We never know where it's going to be or where it's going to go or what it's going to be, or what they're going to ask. We never look at these questions ahead of time, so you get our authentic, raw reactions. And, of course, if you want to be a part of the patrons who send those questions in, go to patreon.com/the-top-10, the number 10 there, and sign up at the $5 and above level, and you get to send in whatever questions, comments, or thoughts you want to send to us to get our points of views on it. All right, Matt, I think you start this week, so let's get going.
Our first one comes from Fred-tastic.
Hey-o.
Says, hey, Matt and John, happy to send you this question. What is your greatest/favorite sports moment you witnessed? Oh, I think this is a double. Didn't we see this one?
Yes, we did. We did. Yes.
All right. Maybe they got sent twice or something.
Thank you, Fred.
Thank you, Fred. All right. Tyler Spots says, hey, John and Matt, I hope the two of you are doing well. I have two questions to ask, so that's frowned upon. So if that's frowned upon, please feel free to choose the one you prefer. Question one. I know you guys answer these questions in the moment, and this might be a difficult question because of that, but I'm curious to see what answers you come up with. Has there ever been a time in Oscars history where you felt anger at a particular film not receiving a single nomination? The one that comes to mind to me, or for me rather, is Uncut Gems. I know a lot of people don't like it because it's too stressful, and I actually don't know anyone personally who has seen the movie and enjoyed it. Wow. However, I absolutely loved it, and I've seen it several times since it was in theater. Sandler and the Safdie brothers were absolutely robbed of Oscar nominations, and the fact that the film didn't even get a sound nomination is baffling to me. I can't wait to hear what films you guys come up with. Why don't we start there?
Okay. Well, I don't feel anger anymore towards the Oscars. I think that was something from my youth. When you're younger, you get mad that certain films will not be recognized. And it's tied into this idea of you feel like, an administration or a bosses or a company is purposefully freezing out certain people or certain types of movies because of political decisions, and I don't mean politics in terms of party. I mean politics in terms of Hollywood politics. Certain studios get favoritism and whatever. So I remember being upset that The Color Purple didn't get as much love from the Oscars as it should have. I remember being upset that Spielberg seemed to be like getting ignored for getting an Oscar until finally he did Schindler's List. I mean, he did so many incredible films that decorate our childhood, but multiple generations' childhood, because people go back and rediscover his movies as kids. And yet he never won that Best Director Oscar until he did something super serious like Schindler's List. And I thought that was always a bit of a crime. But anger, no. But I mean, disgust is certainly a feeling I have. When I saw Green Book win Best Picture recently, I was disgusted by that cop-out. But yeah, that's the extent. I'll get disgusted by it, but I won't get angry about it anymore. What about you?
Yeah, I don't get angry.
Yeah.
I put nothing into it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
it's not really your thing to get angry about this kind of stuff.
Well, I didn't make it. I didn't write it. I didn't help produce it. I didn't do the sound. I didn't do any. So my investment is the time that I put into it, type of thing. Which is the couple hours to watch it. So to get like that over the top seems ridiculous to me at this age, I guess. I don't know that I ever did it. But there are certain times where somebody wins an award and you're like, I don't know what movie you guys saw.
Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah.
Yes.
I do that all the time, being like between actors or actresses or whatever the case is, and be like, well, clearly, how is this performance better than these two?
Yeah. Right.
I saw all those movies. It just doesn't make sense to me. And the preponderance of people, or the majority, however which way that leaned, I wonder what the average percentage majority is.
In terms of what? In terms of what?
Throw a dart. Say best actress, right? So there's 5 people in that category.
Yeah.
How much of a percentage, like what years is it just dramatically lopsided? We'll never know.
Lopsided towards a certain winner. Is that what you mean? Like, what's
if you tally the ballots, yourselves and be like, oh, this year was really close. It was 33%, 20%, and then the others split the 50% left over.
I think that's a great thing to bring up, Matt, because, people negotiate contracts based on nominations. Like, that affects how much money you can make as an actress or actor or director or producer, whatever in this town. Right. So if you found out like, oh, I only missed winning the best actor by 20 votes or 2% of the vote, then that should give you more negotiating power with studios if you're going to be in their films. So I think that should be released. Absolutely.
It'll never happen.
I know it sucks. If you're going to make it a popularity contest, then you need to release the votes. Hell, we elect the president and we release the votes of what the vote count tally was. So you can't do that for the fucking Oscars.
But as someone pointed out to me years ago, and it's always now stuck in my head, the Oscars is an industry giving itself an award, which is the equivalent of the Used Car Salesman Association of the world giving a trophy to the best used car salesman.
Right.
And once I heard that, I was like, that is true, because they're voting on themselves. It's all a big congratulatory pat on the back.
Right.
They'll never release it because the years where somebody just got trounced, like it's always been this way. So now whoever comes in 5th, that's just a slap in the, you got nominated, but you didn't get you got 2 votes. Yeah,
right.
Which is going to happen, but your performance was worthy of being nominated.
Right.
Type of thing. Yeah, I would love it, but it will never happen.
Yeah, because I mean we reveal the vote tallies. I was just thinking, for MVPs in sports leagues, they release the vote. They don't release who voted for who, but they'll release the vote tallies for like MVP or Rookie of the Year or whatever, and you'll see where certain athletes were, how many votes they got by the fans or the sports writers in those situations. So that's the same thing, isn't it? I mean, baseball rewarding itself for MVP, rewarding itself for Rookie of the Year. It isn't going outside of its purview. So I still think my gripe with not releasing the numbers is valid.
Yeah, but media members vote on this, which is an outside party.
Right. Well, media members vote for the Golden Globes. They don't release those tallies.
Yeah, but who gives a shit about the Golden Globes? We're talking about the Oscars.
I agree with you. I don't disagree.
Yeah, Golden Globes is just an excuse for celebrities to get drunk. And for certain movies that aren't going to be nominated for Oscar, have no shot, to get a little bit more shine, and hopefully it translates to the box office and more people go see whatever it is.
Yeah.
It could also be a double trashing like Cats, where they got pummeled at the Globes, and then I'm assuming I didn't watch either. I just saw clips, but I saw them getting pummeled in the clips at the Globes. So I assume Oscars may have taken a shot as well.
I'm sure there were a couple of shots taken at the
had to be.
Yeah. It was tough to watch the Oscars this year.
I didn't watch it at all.
Oof, it was rough, man.
I look online. I have the past few years for just to see who wins the categories. I'm intrigued by that. I'm still interested in that, but the 3.5 hours. Let's get to the fucking point.
That's a fair point. That's a fair point.
And talking to 2 gentlemen that go to see movies all the time, go to new releases, hyped events, huge lines, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And no. You need to be the Godfather. And guess what? Every time you're fucking Fredo. And that's what hurts every year.
Yeah.
Every year. Fucking stab us in the back again. I thought it was going to be different. Nope. Fucking Fredo.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
Baba.
Yeah. Nope.
All right. Should we move on to his second question?
Sure. Okay. His second question is, I feel like a lot of NFL teams that have yet to win a Super Bowl are currently on the come up. Teams like the Bills, Titans, Browns, Chargers, etc. have improved a lot over the past few years, and has got me thinking about which team without a championship would be the first to get one. Ooh. Personally, I'm hoping it's the Bills since I am a lifelong fan and I'm really enjoying watching them not play like shit for the first time in my life. What do you guys think about this? Who will be the first team to win a Super Bowl based on current trajectory? I appreciate you guys taking my questions and have a great day. Tyler Spots.
Oh, man, this is a tough one because, Matt, there's so many things you can't plan for, like injuries and just a team underperforming or a team tuning a coach out and not being able to really put that in motion. The Bills certainly look possible, although Josh Allen kind of showed you the limits of him in the playoffs last year. And I think if he can, improve on that, make some leaps and bounds, then certainly the Bills are in contention to win a Super Bowl for sure. More so than any of the teams. Well, not more so than the Titans, because I think adding Julio Jones gives them, with Derrick Henry and these other receivers and their defense, gives them a good situation to get to that Super Bowl.
I'll be intrigued, but to me on this list, the Chargers and the Titans, especially the Chargers, they've been good by and large for 15 years.
Yeah.
They have LaDainian Tomlinson and Phillip Rivers, and then the Phillip Rivers era lasted a long time, and they were always a tough out. Even if they went just like 500, they were still a solid team. And every year coming in to training camp, you're like, I like a lot of their young guys. I do it every year with the Chargers. And they haven't won a championship, so
right. And they went to a Super Bowl, Matt, even before Rivers got there with Stan Humphries.
Oh yeah, you're talking about way back when, yeah. So they've always been kind of never always a bridesmaid, but at least they were in the wedding party.
Yeah.
The Browns, I agree with you. I still question, and I don't know.
I'm still not 100% sold. You allowed the moment was there to embrace it, and you allowed Chad Henne to run 13 yards to get that first down when you could have taken control of this game in that fourth quarter with Mahomes and that injury. Those are the moments that great teams or teams that believe in themselves enough to get to a Super Bowl grab by the throats and succeed with, and I don't know if Mayfield has that extra oomph.
We need to see it. We need to
see it. We don't know yet. We need to see it. I'm not doubting it. I'm just saying I don't know.
Yeah. And it'll be interesting if I'd have to go and look at the stats, but you can determine who gets like a lot of the 50-50 balls and whatnot. And good teams, through good luck, get more of those over the course of a season. It just inevitably happens. Or you skip what you brought up earlier, the injury bug.
Yeah.
There is a tremendous amount of luck, especially in a contact sport like football.
That's why I used to love reading Bill Barnwell, because he would break it down with statistics, and he would look at, like what you just brought up, Matt, is an excellent point, the 50-50 balls. He'd talk about how one team is like 7-2 in games where they won by less than a touchdown, where that can swing. And that never keeps up every year. It always swings back to the median. So that one team has success. But once you're going against the median of what you normally would do based on the talent you have in your team, that's not a sustainable way to operate a team, because eventually you will regress back to the median, and then you'll be back to thinking, well, what the hell were we thinking about this team? And that's what I worry about the Browns. Like if the Browns go 8-8 next year,
it's a failure.
Yeah. I mean, it really is. It really is. And it's certainly a potential, because the Steelers are retooling. The Ravens look powerful as hell. The Bengals with Joe Burrow, who knows how much they're going to leap forward, the Bengals.
But with the Steelers, Big Ben is another year older, which you know who that's not good for? Big Ben.
Well, sure, fair, but they were 11-0 last year before the wheels came off.
Did you buy that 11-0?
Of course not, but they were still 11-0.
It was the most facetious. It was in essence like the college football team that has a massive record and be like, because you played East, like Northeast Appalachian State, a college I've never heard of. And that's one of 8, that you've trounced on of schools I've never heard of. That 11-0 was nonsense.
Yeah. No, I know. I don't disagree with you. Like the Bears, when they started, 6-0 that year, you're like, this isn't real.
It's not who we are. If you watch these games, we're getting 50-50 balls where we shouldn't have.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like the opening game was against Detroit when Swift couldn't catch that touchdown. That's like, you guys had that game.
Yeah, that was the game.
And for those who don't know, 50-50 balls, obviously what it is, but if you never heard the breakdown, any kind of potential turnover or whatnot that can go either way. It's just like it tipped from an offense to defense or defense to offense. It's a fumble. Two guys are jumping for it at the same time.
Yeah.
And good teams just, and others you buy into it, like the Patriots for years led on those 50-50 balls.
Mm-hmm.
Part of the reason they were so good.
Is there anyone else that he's not mentioning that could possibly be in this? I mean, the Ravens, he hasn't mentioned the Ravens, and the Ravens haven't been able to get to an AFC championship. Oh, I guess. Oh, yeah, that's a good point. They've yet to win a Super Bowl. Okay.
Yet to, yeah. It's been a while. It's been 20 years, but.
Yeah. But Goff on Detroit is curious to me. If he turns that team around with the new coach and the new GM, I don't know.
Yeah. Crazier things have happened.
Yes.
I will grant you that. But if he couldn't do it with the talent base that he had here in Los Angeles and a coach that was willing to let him air it out and make mistakes early on, he can't fucking do it.
Yeah, that's a good point.
He had great wide receivers, a great running back. Defense was solid. Couldn't win. Well, could win, but couldn't win when the lights got brightest.
Right. What about Minnesota? Minnesota's never won a Super Bowl. Are we done with the Kirk Cousins experience?
Who knows?
Yeah.
I don't mind Minnesota. They're interesting.
I think Jacksonville's going to be a few years away with that.
We'll see.
Trevor Lawrence down there.
Miami don't sound too good, although they've won, obviously, Super Bowl, but it's been a minute.
Atlanta? Any chance Matt Ryan has a rebirth for 1 year and kind of avenges that loss against the Patriots and wins the title?
I mean, the simple measure of you being the one able to pose that question puts you in a nicer light than me that has to now answer it, because I've got fans that are, buddies that are diehard Atlanta fans.
Oh, really? Okay.
Oh, yeah, I've got two. They're diehard Atlanta fans, and every time you see them, you're like, dead man walking. I have more belief in my Bears because they're so up and down, but the defense is so consistently good. And the NFL, that still makes a difference. Yeah. So I'm just like, there's always a chance with us with Atlanta. I don't believe that in the slightest.
Yeah.
I feel bad. I see them just like, after that Super Bowl, I will never believe in you guys until you get a brand new team in there.
Dude, I watched the America's game on that season the Patriots won, the NFL Network. It's a great documentary on all the Super Bowl winners. And it is painful to watch that sequence. It is just pain. That is.
You feel so bad for him.
Oh, you do. You do, because like Matt Ryan seems like a cool dude. That team seemed like it was like a bunch of guys who really cared about each other, really wanted to win. And it wasn't like that Falcons team that lucked their way into victory over the Vikings and got into that Super, got mauled by the Broncos. This team came ready. Matty Ice was ready to change the entire narrative about him as a starting quarterback. And there are certain quarterbacks that don't have to win. Jim Kelly never had to win a Super Bowl. Marino's never had to win a Super Bowl. There are certain quarterbacks that don't have to win Super Bowls to solidify themselves as one of the greats. Matty Ice needed to win a Super Bowl so people could talk about him in a different way. And it was there on the plate. And watching that team blow it is just horrific to watch, man. Horrific.
We were, as a nation, rooting for them.
Yes. Because everybody hated the Patriots.
Well, I've never hated the Patriots. It's just because they're not my team. Let's move on. I want change. But at the same time, you could look at it like, when's the next time a franchise is going to be able to do that? And you got to see it, and it was pretty impressive.
Right. In a Super Bowl. Right.
And as an organization over such a long haul.
Mm-hmm.
So like that just added another feather in their cap, man. It's really impressive, that run. I hope you guys fall off a cliff. I'm just sick of the Patriots. It's been the Patriots for so long. I'm just tired of it.
I got an ugly feeling that Aaron Rodgers is going to sit out this whole year so that he can go play for.
We'll fucking see, man. Otherwise, he wants to be out here.
Yeah, he does. You're right.
For Jeopardy and his lady and whatever team he can get on this side of the country.
Yeah, it's true. 49ers could be a possibility down the road, but
they drafted a kid. Plus they got Garoppolo with 1 year left. Yeah, they're set. It would have been the Rams, but they've made their bed.
If Stafford can stay healthy, who knows?
But what do they have in the coffers to offer up for, and you can't really do it because you just sunk so much, into Stafford.
That's why I think there's people asking me, like, is he going to come back and play for Green Bay? I think he's not going to come back to the NFL at all. If he can't make that, if they can't swing that trade, he is not coming back to the NFL at all this year. He's going to sit out until his rights go out or the contract goes out or negotiate some kind of buyout. And then the next year he's going to come back and play for another team and try to win a Super Bowl. I think that's what's going to happen. I don't see him and Shailene thing I don't see that lasting. I just don't. They're moving way too fast.
Who knows?
Moving way too fast.
I can't speculate about other people's because sometimes when you know.
Yeah, right. That's true. I certainly knew with Lindley within a couple of weeks. That's for sure. Yeah, that's fair. That's actually fair to turn that around on me, Matt.
Well, it's not, I'm not trying to turn it around.
It's fair. It's fair. It's all.
Every once and again, you'll hear about some older couple, and guy was like, when he says the first time I saw her, I knew I was going to marry her.
Right.
And it's beautiful, and at the same time, it's like, wow, that's kind of crazy.
It kind of is. Yeah.
You've never spoken to her. You don't know what she's like personality wise, just based on across. But if it's kismet and it's meant to be, then perhaps that's what just boom, I knew.
Yep. Exactly.
Who knows? But yeah, it does seem a little quick. I love the reports from Jeopardy people, quote unquote, that they loved him on Jeopardy. They thought he was great. Really? I don't remember Jeopardy ever doing that.
Yeah.
Ever for anyone.
I don't see Aaron Rodgers as the answer there, but that's just me.
Well, I think it was Aaron Rodgers floating out there to put more pressure on the Green Bay Packers of like, other people love me.
Yeah. I don't need you.
I don't need you. Don't need you.
Oh, it's terrible.
Yeah, it's super. I love it. I love it.
Of course. As a Bears fan, how can you not love it?
And yeah, hopefully, that's the thing. I have no real animosity towards Detroit and Minnesota. So if they manage to climb up, I'd be happy for them, actually, a little bit. Mm-hmm. Whereas the Packers, I'd like to see suffer. So if Rodgers can leave, that'll make me. So I don't watch baseball anymore, but if St. Louis falls apart, I'm happy every time. If I hear about it, I don't watch baseball anymore. But if I find out the Cardinals, like, oh, we know the right way to play baseball, we're the best fans, and then they just do something stupid and be like, hey, right back at you. Oh, they're the worst. I hate Busch Stadium.
They're on a 25-game losing streak? Absolutely.
Perfect. Good for you. I guess that right way to play baseball will dig you right out. Good luck, guys. Fucking Cardinals. The worst.
Oh, there's the anger. Guys, it ain't for the
Oscars, will stay with me. I don't watch baseball anymore, but I still hate Cardinal fans.
I'm with you, man. I'm trying to decide if I should become a Padres. I mean, a Padres fan living down here because it's a nice stadium and they're nice people, man.
Stadium. It's a great stadium.
We're going to
used to have season tickets.
Oh,
right when they first opened. Yeah,
right on.
They were good. They weren't great, so they weren't crazy expensive. But I think it was his grandma. It was like, I'll split it with you. So he got better seats, and we were behind first base, like 25, 30 rows up.
That's awesome.
It wasn't bad.
Because it's not a big stadium. I think it's like 35, 40,000 people. It's not a big stadium, but I think that's what it is, right? Petco Park?
Well, it's because the outfield is so strange.
Right. Yes.
They've got that park out beyond, and then the buildings up across left field going into the foul pole area coming in.
Yeah.
So it does limit some of the seating. So yeah, you totally could be right. I never really thought about it, I guess. But yeah, it's a great stadium.
Yeah, 42,445 people. That's nice all they can fit in Petco Park. So just looking it up right here. And so we got our tickets to go see a Padres. I pushed her sister, Lindley's sister, because she likes to go see games. Lindley's not a big deal. So I was like, let's go. Her boyfriend and all of us, just the four of us going and hanging out and having a good time. Because baseball is great. Yeah, you go to watch the game, but it's great to have conversation and talk about stuff. That's really what you go to a game for. Yeah, exactly. And so,
do I want to pay $15 to go sit here and talk and eat a hot dog?
Yeah, exactly. And pay another $10 for the hot dog, but it's worth it to have that experience every once in a while. So yeah, absolutely.
That's the only reason we go to like one game a year. Mm-hmm. Catherine and I used to go to like 2 to 3, and you just end up, it's a way to catch up with buddies and shit that you haven't seen in a minute.
Yeah.
And just sit around, talk, and enjoy a game. Which is why it doesn't translate on TV for me, because how I'd have to watch most of baseball.
Yeah, baseball's so long, dude. It's like 3
It
hours.
takes forever.
You can watch 2 movies by the time baseball game is over. All right, so let's do one more question, Matt. So we're not the whole show just is. But thank you, Tyler Spots. Are you there?
I clicked on the next one, so it's the next one up above Tyler.
Which is Chris Lemke, right?
Yep.
All right, what's up, guys? He says, thank you for all the recommendations for LA. I'm working on my list, and those helped a bunch. Here's my question. Is there a movie that so utterly wasted their potential or concept that it just drives you nuts? I was just talking to someone about the movie yesterday, and it still drives me nuts that they couldn't actualize that awesome concept and instead fell down a weird rabbit hole. The invention of lying also falls into that same hole. Take it away, boys. Lemke. Matt?
I didn't hate yesterday.
Yeah, I know. I don't know what Lemke's talking about. I love that movie. I own that movie.
Yeah, I don't know that it had the emotional punch at the end that it felt like potentially it was gearing up towards. But anyway, God, let's see. It pisses me off. Well, The Matrix is a series.
Oh man, yeah.
For the concept, the overall construct to end up like that, was unsatisfying to say the very least.
I was on Snyder's show this morning, and apparently there was a screening of the film yesterday.
Of 4?
Of 4. So I'm not going to give anything away, except to say one thing, that a lot of people, or some people, came out of that screening a little bit weirded out about how meta the film actually is. And so I don't know what that means. I don't know how that's going to come about. But the fact that I hear any of the critics being worried about it or nervous about it makes me go back to Reloaded Revolution's mindset and makes me think, makes me hope that it's not a good movie, but it makes me worried that it is not a good movie. And so, which would suck because you mean a 4th one in the series. Fuck.
You hope that it's going to be a good movie, but
I hope it's right.
Yeah,
but I fear that it isn't. Yes.
Yeah. I believe you said that. I hope that it's not going to be a good movie.
Oh, my bad.
By accident. That's why I was trying to help clean it up.
Absolutely. I want it to be good.
That's always been my assumption as to how this is going to play out for me.
Gotcha.
I want it to be great. I'm pretty sure it's not going to be. That's what sucks, but I'm still going to see it. I'm still going to see it because I want to make that opinion, that choice for myself.
Yeah.
I've invested quite a bit into the series. I still like the concept. I mean, like Alien went off the rails there, but I still believe it could come back.
Yeah, Alien is one of those that the foundation is so strong and there's enough potential even in the crappier sequels that you go, there's still something here. Yes. Right? Whereas Predator, I think, should be dead and buried once and for all.
There's still something like Predators with Brody.
Yeah, I guess that wasn't bad. Yeah, I guess that wasn't bad. But this Shane Black one, oh my God, that shit.
No, it's terrible. It is utterly terrible. Really Don't even waste your fucking time. Predators is interesting. I mean, basically, it's the fever dream on some level of Rodriguez and Tarantino, and because Predator squares off against every type of criminal under the sun. It's a fun idea.
Yeah.
Happy Time Murders. I feel like there's a good movie in there somewhere.
Oh my God. Right. At the first 20, 30, I was like, oh, this is going to be really funny. And then I don't know what happened at the last hour of that movie.
I didn't hate it.
Yeah.
Because I walked away going, there is something there, and knowing that because this is not going to do well at the box office, they're not going to make a sequel to it.
Yeah.
But there's a fun, really interesting, inventive movie to be made through that medium. There really is.
When we were first getting together, Lindley and I would go, she'd be my +1 to screening because I'd be like, come into my world. Let me introduce you to what I do. And Happy Time Murders was the last straw. That was the one where she's like, you know what?
I don't blame her.
I love that you do this, but I can't keep going to these movies because you're trained to be okay sitting in an hour and a half and watching a bad movie. I would have walked out 10 minutes in. She's very judgmental about movies. And so she's like, I'm not going to any more screenings. So, and she hasn't been to one since, which I thought was really funny.
As is her choice.
Yeah, exactly.
Some people, it's just not their jam. And like, I get it. This one, it's so high concept that you need to have sat through thousands of hours of movies. Like for me to go, You don't understand how unique a premise this is.
Yeah.
And
I think Matt, I think a few more rewrites and it could have been really
who knows?
Yeah.
Or strip it down and just start over.
Mm.
And I liked Melissa McCarthy in it.
Yeah.
She played it really well.
She did.
I don't know. There's
She
something there, but
I would throw another Beatles one, not yesterday, but I would throw Across the Universe in there. Really, I'd throw every film that Julie Taymor has directed. She's apparently, I've never seen her work on Broadway, but apparently she's an incredible Broadway director. But when it comes to her films, there's always that little extra something missing from the films that she directs. And I'm including Frida in that. I felt Frida was missing something as well. But her version of Titus Andronicus Titus it's a good film. There's so much potential here, but it's never fully connects. It's too presentational at times. And Across the Universe, although I love the separate videos of these songs, when you try to connect the storylines, it feels very forced and not, I don't know, it doesn't feel organic at all. So I thought it was a brilliant idea for her to do that for Beatles and kind of tie into these characters going through that time when the Beatles music was huge. But it just schmaltzes out one too many times, and it pisses me off the potential of that movie. I still watch it every once in a while, but I kind of hate watching it a little bit sometimes too.
yeah, I do that with some movies.
Yeah.
I've never seen that one all the way through.
Yeah.
And I think part of the Titus is it's a Shakespearean that not a lot of people have as much, connection to.
Yeah.
So it was always a little bit of a kind of Sisyphean task.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't know that they were going to get that boulder to the top of the mountain, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But at least they tried.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that was her.
Yeah.
I
I think that was one of her, I think Across the Universe was like her last one that she did. And I think people were just like, well, these movies
really?
aren't
Titus
making
came
money.
out before Across the Universe?
Oh, yeah.
Huh.
Titus
Maybe
was
I'm
like,
thinking.
because I played Titus at school, and the film came out around that time. Yeah, 1999 is when Titus came out. Yeah, Frida Kahlo. Oh, she did the Tempest in 2010, which is the one with with Helen Mirren and with Jomon Hansu, and then she did A Midsummer Night's Dream, which I didn't even know. Oh, that's an on stage one, and then.
Okay.
And then she did something called The Glorias last year, which is the one with Julianne Moore playing Gloria Steinem. So there you go. I didn't even know about that one, to be honest with you. So interesting.
I remember seeing that. The problem is it came out after the Kate Blanchett one. The TV show.
Oh, yeah. Ms. America.
Ms. America.
Right.
Mrs. America, whatever. Yeah. That was really good if you've never seen that.
I haven't seen it. Yeah. Do you recommend it?
You've got Gloria Steinem. You've got the right and the left and how they were kind of going back and forth politically and personally. It was interesting. It was good.
Okay. Maybe I'll watch that one then. Been looking for something new to jump into. We finished all Bosch. We finished all 6 seasons of Bosch. So we need to jump into something new. Cool. Anything more to add to that question?
No, I don't think so. I think we're good.
Cool. All right. Well, thank you all so much for listening or watching this episode of Topic Thunder. We appreciate it, madly. Don't forget the Top 10 show is a podcast stream as well. So please go and subscribe to our podcast feed. If you're only discovering us on YouTube, go to the podcast feed and subscribe as well. Right, Matt?
Yes, sir. And you can follow us anywhere at Top 10 Show or on Instagram and YouTube, it is / the Top 10 podcast with the number 10. So hit us up over there. You can follow me anywhere at Matt Nost.
And you can follow me at The Roca Says. And we'll talk to you next time on another brand new episode of Topic
Thunder.